final season of Stranger Things is finally here with an explosive first part, with huge reveals for Will, Eleven and Max, plus a terrifying new Vecna. Yippee-ki-yay movie lovers, this is your code red warning as I break down and reveal all the details you might have missed in the ending of Volume 1. The fourth episode ends on a huge twist as Will unleashes powers that have been hinted at throughout the series. His eyes go white, as we've previously seen with Vecna, and because Will's connected to the hive mind, he telekinetically freezes 3 different demogorgons in 3 completely different locations, and then he levitates them and snaps their bones, just like Vecna did to his victims in Season 4. And that sequence finishes with the iconic nosebleed we've seen on both Eleven and Henry. Season 5's opening scene shows that after Will was abducted years earlier by the Demogorgon, Vecna plugged a vine into his mouth and began pumping a black gooey substance into him. I strongly suspect this contained dark particles from the Mind Flayer, which Henry encountered when he was banished into another dimension by Eleven, and that by the end of the show, we'll find out this is how Will became superpowered. Since Will coughed up the slug at the end of the first season, we've seen how the Mind Flayer retained a hold over him and how it infected him further in the second season. And even though the particles were seemingly driven out of him by the end of Season 2, the goosebumps he gets whenever something or someone from the Upside Down is near show that he's never been truly rid of the connection. As he explained to his mum,
"Ever since he took me, it's like I was permanently changed."
This means Will has always been at risk of becoming Vecna's pawn again, and this season, as more and more Demogorgons break into Hawkins, the connection intensifies, and if they burn, he also feels their pain, similar to Season 2. Will's vulnerability is likely connected to his self-doubt and his struggles to accept himself for who he really is. As a gay kid growing up in the 80s, society and his father were not very accepting. However, after he discovers Robin's relationship with Vicky, Robin helps him see the light, explaining that one day she found a film of herself as a young child and noticed how she loved every part of herself.
And that's when it hit me. I just needed to stop being so goddamn scared. Scared of who I really was. Once I did that, I felt so free. It's like I could fly, you know?
And it's this heartfelt talk that gives Will the mental fortitude to overcome Vecna's attempt to break him down and tell him he doesn't fit in the world.
Will, you were the first. And you broke so easily. Some minds, it turns out, simply do not belong in this world. They belong in mine.
Vecna feeds into and feeds off Will's doubts and anxieties, telling him he's weak and should give up. In fact, Vecna's so convinced he's won Will back to the dark side that he promptly returns to the Upside Down. However, as Robin's words from earlier echo in Will's mind, he begins to see a scene from his childhood play as if it were a film. He sees how loved he is, surrounded by his adoring mother and brother, and remembers becoming friends with Mike. This gives him the power to overcome Vecna's taunts. Remember, Eleven also resisted Henry's incredible powers in a similar way during the massacre at Hawkins' lab, when she used a loving memory of her mother to reverse Henry's imminent victory over her.
I love you.
So Will has become Will the Sorcerer, and he's been able to turn the powers Vecna transfused into him into something good. Or as Mike put it,
"In real life, you're more like a sorcerer, because your powers don't come from a book of spells, they're innate."
As we can see, Will is now going to be a formidable opponent to Vecna, as rather than spying for the villain as he did in Season 2, with his demo vision, he'll actually be able to see what Vecna's up to and turn the tables against him.
Vecna likes to control the hive mind like a puppet master. Maybe when you tap into the hive, you can pull the strings too.
But what is Vecna's grand plan? Well, Will discovered through his connection to the hive mind that in addition to Holly, Vecna has abducted 3 other children. Will can see a few flashes of them, and similar to how he sketched out the Mind Flayer's tunnel network in Season 2, he draws something that looks like a cavern where the children are being held. The sharp, pointy bits above and below feel like they could be teeth of some sort, and I'm thinking that this could actually be inside another creature. Perhaps the one Nancy saw in the vision Vecna revealed to her in Season 4.
He showed me things that haven't happened yet. And this giant creature with a gaping mouth
And this creature wasn't alone.
The spires where the children are tied up also look like the rib cages of an animal or monster. Remember that Will drew a painting of a red dragon monster in season 4, and this might be a representation of an even bigger villain that Vecna's working for. Despite Vecna's claims of being in control, he may not be the biggest bad of the whole series. It's more likely that the Mind Flayer or some other monster is controlling him, or as Dustin put it,
Who do we know that wants to take over the world? The Mind Flayer. So if the Demogorgon was just his foot soldier, Vecna's his 5-star general.
We still can't underestimate Vecna though. He's an absolute beast now, and when he finally emerges in the 4th episode, we see how he can wade through a barrage of bullets unscathed. He can even repel a fire attack and restore the health of injured Demogorgons. The Duffers have said they wanted Vecna's power to feel as brutal and terrifying as Darth Vader's takedown of the rebels in Rogue One. Vecna's plan is to collect 12 children in total, and although we see Demogorgons taking some away, it's unclear if he has all 12 yet. Why 12 though, you might ask? Well, we know Vecna is obsessed with clocks, and I think it's one for each hour hand. And there's also another nice bit of symbolism here, as 11 plus 1 equals 12. And after all, 1 did originally propose to 11 to join his plan to reshape the world. We see little glimpses of the children with vines plugged into them, so it's very likely that Vecna intends to give them powers like he did Will, although because he views them as weak in body and mind, he's probably expecting them to be completely subservient and do whatever he wants them to do. The big reveal for 11 at the end of Volume 1 is that her sister Carly, aka 8, has been taken prisoner by Dr. K's military team and is being experimented on in the secret Upside Down lab. Back in the 2nd season, it was Carly who helped a young 11 learn to harness and control her power better. At the time, Carly was more like Henry in how she encouraged 11 to channel her anger as a means to wield her power.
I want you to find something from your life, something that angers you.
Carly has the power to cast illusions, and bringing her back for the final episodes means she's surely going to be critical in defeating the Mind Flayer for good. It also ties in with the theory that the number 20, like the one Erica rolled in Season 4 during the game with the Hellfire Club, will be crucial for defeating the big bad of the series. If we add up 11, 8 and 1, we get 20, meaning this would be the team up that would defeat the Mind Flayer. This implies that Henry will eventually turn against the Mind Flayer and redeem himself. Alternatively though, given Vecna's words to Will,
you were the first.
It could be our Sorcerer who represents the number 1 in the superpowered trio. As for 11, she may also need to continue leveling up her powers for the finale. So far we've seen her learn to mega jump, echoing Dr. Brenner's words to her.
If you want to stop one, you will need to do more than walk. You will need to do more than run. You will need to fly.
So will we see her literally flying by the end of the series? Or is it more metaphorical in the sense of what Robin said to Will?
Once I did that, it's like I could fly.
Although Max is still in a coma by the end of Volume 1, it turns out that she's discovered some interesting details and backstory about Henry. As one of Vecna's victims who died but then came back to life, she's been able to wander around the mental prison that Vecna's created for her and Holly. Everything inside is a memory that Vecna has stored, and Holly compares it to Camazotz.
Camazotz is like this dark planet that's under the control of it, which is this giant disembodied evil brain.
Max also learns there's a cave which Henry is terrified to enter. This relates to his backstory and how he originally acquired his powers, and I'm making a separate video on it soon and will add a link here when it's done. Given this season's focus on Holly, I predict she'll be key to helping Max escape Vecna's mind prison, and we get a big clue to this in what Mike tells his sister when he gives her the Holly the Heroic D&D figurine.
She can cast spells of protection to ward against evil spirits, and even cooler, she can cast a dimension door, which can teleport you to anywhere you visualize.
We see Holly put the figurine on a necklace, and there's a mysterious shot of a door in an open field, teased in one of the behind-the-scenes trailers for Season 5, which suggests that Holly is going to figure out that spell and get herself and Max out of Vecna's mind prison. Perhaps this is how Max gets out of her coma. Notice also the rainbows all around Holly in her room, hinting at her getting some powers, and also at her being a bridge that connects Max and her back to the human world from the supernatural one where they currently are. And we've seen her plugged into the hive mind like Will was, so, like him, she could find a way to access some of Vecna's powers. But how do you think the show will all end? And do you think any of our heroes won't make it? Let me know in the comments below. More season 5 videos are on the way, so tap here to watch the latest one. Thanks for enjoying Stranger Things with me. Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers!